Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Bria Fontana Show. Today, I have an awesome guest, a colleague of mine, Nikki Lee. She's going to be sharing some amazing leadership and systemization things, and just things that a lot of us as small business owners, service providers, salon professionals, we need to know. So, Nikki, welcome and introduce yourself. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself. You'll do a better job than me.
Oh, well, thank you. Good morning, everybody. And hi, Maria. Thank you so much for inviting me on to this podcast. And what a great job you're doing. I see all the stuff that you're doing. And by the way, I saw some materials that you created too. And you're really pretty innovative yourself in the way that you think and your perspective about leadership and business
Thank
ownership.
you.
So great job on that.
Thank you so
And
much.
so I'm really honored and privileged to be on this with you and having a conversation with you as a fellow professional colleague that is really trying our best to help grow small business owners in every industry. Obviously, we come from the beauty industry,
Yes.
but in every industry. And I think that the beauty
Mhm.
industry itself is a little bit of kind of in a bubble, a little bit,
Yeah.
because we're a bunch of artists that like things to be a bit more free and organic and things like that. And so running a business, this like systemization and reading numbers and running reports and these kind of things is it's a
Right.
bit foreign to us as artists, but we have to grow that skill too as we become
Yes.
leaders and business owners. And so I've been in the beauty industry 34 something years like that, 35 years maybe. And
How's that possible? We're only 30.
I know, right? Um, I've had the honor of being really in every facet. I actually studied psychology. I thought I was going to be a psychiatrist. And I ended up being more of a psychologist than probably if I actually went into psychiatry, I think.
Of
Um,
course.
a little bit of that, but I started making a lot of money when I was young in the beauty
Mhm.
industry because I had a little bit of a gift for it, I guess. And it just sort of happened and grew. But I was a kind of a, I'm not gonna say I was a partier, but I was, loosey goosey. I just wanted to go out and have a good time, come to work whenever I could, you know, that sort of thing. But found it to be successful. But I had a few key moments in my early on career that just reminded me that there were markers in along the career path that if you go
Mm.
back and look at it, that just sort of boop, push you into the course that you're supposed to be in. And so
Yes.
that's kind of what happened. And I think that sometimes the paths, you can be very intentional about it, but
Mhm.
certainly there are going to be certain markers along the way that lead you to a certain place. And I think that it brought out the entrepreneurship in me. It brought out the heart in me. I definitely stopped being such a party girl and ended up thinking, I need to be more serious. This career is very interesting. And I
Right.
started to notice the differences of it and that it was limitless in its potential and that I didn't understand that at the time. And
Mhm.
so a lot of what I try to do is just peel back the layers so that everyone can see how limitless this industry really is. And when you are in small business, that there are so many different hats that you wear. And I started to
Mhm.
wear all of those hats and started
Yeah.
to create all of those type of things for me. And it just ended up being where it was just very difficult for me to understand kind of where to go because I was so young and new at it too. Give me
Mhm.
a second here. I just want to lock this. Sorry. I want to
It's
interrupt.
okay.
But I was sort of young and new and made a lot of mistakes. And I was a terrible leader. And I was reactive and emotional and took things personally and all of the things you're not supposed to do that are very unemotionally intelligent. And I had to learn along the way to be a little bit more emotionally intelligent. But those things really taught me about myself. And it was very painful to sort of grow through that. So I went through all those hats, I went through all those roles and became a little bit of an educator for some companies, worked behind the chair, salon owner, business owner, entrepreneur, business coach, all of those things, and mom along the way too, So,
Yes. Yeah, we
uh,
can't forget that. That's like a hell of a job that we have
right.
right
Right.
there.
And here we are. So now we're in a position where giving back to the industry is really important to us and Ivan and I work really hard at it. We of course have a brick and mortar store
Mhm.
and storefront here. It's about 6,200 square feet. There are anywhere between 30 to 45 people in the building from an
Mhm.
employee standpoint or independent contractor standpoint in our company. at any given time. And we also travel and teach at shows. And we also wanted to create a very robust online academy for business owners that
Mhm.
was very affordable and very reachable to the average salon owner, or the average business owner, somebody who didn't have a huge budget for certain things, but
Yeah.
yet still wanted the information. And so that's where I'm at.
And I think that's amazing because that is definitely a hurdle that I see, especially in our industry. It's a lot of people just can't afford in investing in themselves. And, it's been a challenging few years. When we're recording this, what is it, May 2022? We're just coming out of a lot of stress and we're still dealing with stress, financially in our industry, in all industry, service-based businesses. So Nikki, if you were to give newer entrepreneurs, newer service-based businesses, salon owners, spa owners, many spa owners, anyone that's in the service-based business, what are the top 3 things you would tell them is super important to focus on? Things that me and you didn't know in the beginning, we had to learn the hard way. So I would say, I'll give you just top 3 things because I know there's like top 10, but let's do top 3.
Well, I think that there's so the first thing I'll say to that is that preparation is key, and to accept and be willing to have a learning curve before you jump into business ownership.
Mhm,
Or if you are a business owner, but you're a solopreneur
mhm,
versus somebody with employees, before you start to take on the role of being a leader or an employer, you got
mhm,
to learn how to play the game. And the game is like, think of it like chess. I always use this analogy because I think it's a really good one. But if you don't know how to play chess, why would you enter a chess competition?
right.
Why would you engage in something like that? So the first thing to do is to read a book about it. And then
Yeah,
maybe,
get educated.
right. And then to maybe reach out to somebody who knows how to play chess really well, so
Mhm,
that that person can help teach you the rules and the objectives and
yeah.
all of the different ways to move the players, and also the different positions that you can take, and
Mhm,
what can be done, what can't be done, and all of those things. So running a business is like that. If
mhm,
you don't know how to play the game yet, it's okay. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means that
right,
you have to reach out to somebody that knows how to. And so you
right.
can start to self-study or otherwise. And you don't need a 4-year college degree to do that.
No.
But I always boil it down to learning to accept the responsibility of when to know when you're a business owner. And I would say there's 3 top things. And that's one, which is the cash in and how to make money. So all the ways to bring in revenue, right?
Mhm,
So your pricing, your demand levels, your service offerings, your descriptions of your service offerings,
mhm,
all of those things that play into revenue capture, right? So
mhm,
cash, you got to learn how to master that. And before you get into business, right? What are your transaction processes and all of that? Then the second thing is going to be cash out, all the expenses. So what is going to cost you to run that business? What is it going
mhm,
to cost you to grow your people? Have you set a budget for payroll to include, instead of just like the Italian chandeliers that you want in your salon, and the fancy chairs? Your budget doesn't just suit that. It has to also be for your people. So if you
mhm,
know in your mind that you want to have people in your business, you actually have to build a budget for that to support the payroll for that. So all of the cash out, because payroll is your biggest expense, it's because people are your biggest asset. And
mhm,
so that's really important to know. And then that leads me to my third really key fundamental of a responsibility or focus point of a small business owner for sure, which is going to be what we call the dual experience. So the dual experience is the experience for the people that are inside of your business. So
mhm,
there's groups of people, in my opinion. There's your employees, right? Or the people that are going to align with your brand to represent it
mhm,
and get paid to do so. And also there are going to be the customers or the clients or the guests, whatever name you choose to use.
right.
But that's the journey that you're going to create for those people. And how do you get them through the process of being not a customer to a VIP loyal? So what's the journey like? And what can that experience look like? And how do you design that? And how do you create that? What are all the key touch points that happen within all of that? And
Mhm,
so for the employees, what kind of experience are you designing for them? And for the customers, what kind of journey or experience you're building for them? So those are going to be, in my opinion, the 3 key, or 4 maybe, but 3 key fundamentals of any business owner that you need to focus on.
So I know in our industry specific, we have a big movement. Now I'm in New Jersey. Where are you?
We're in Virginia.
You're in Virginia. So I don't, I know, like, I know New Jersey state law. I don't know Virginia. So in New Jersey, we've just had suites coming in like now. And the like all the salon owners are flipping out because this is just something totally new. We don't have booth rental here. So it's a very large mindset shift. I'm not against it personally. I speak openly. I think everyone should. I'm for entrepreneurship. I started my own business at 19. What is your thoughts on, in a positive feedback to anyone looking to go out on their own? You know, what should they, besides the top three things, you know, a lot of people are thinking they could just, you know, step out now and become wealthy all of a sudden. What would your advice be to someone who is looking to go independent? What are maybe what's the most important thing they should really be looking at? Like I said, I'm not against it. I'm all for it, but I think I have a personal opinion on what the business strategy should be. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, here's what I think. And I have some pretty strong, concise thoughts on this.
And that's okay, because I know what we've been in the industry so long. I think it's positive feedback for the community to hear different perspectives and feed on that.
I think that salon owners, so in the United States in 2016, I believe statistics read that there were about 93 or 94,000 employee-based salons in the United States. So I think that small group of people need to accept the fact in the beauty industry that in the world, there is three categories of workforce that the government creates a structure around. And so we need to understand how our workforce is divvied up. And I think that we as business owners, or salon owners specifically, but small business owners, I think we can speak to every small business owner in every industry, because this gig economy that's starting to happen is very important. It's a shift, and the pandemic set it on fire a little bit. And I'll tell you that really the three categories are this: you're either an employee, you're an employer, or you're self-employed. So those are your three categories. And none of them are going away. I hear a lot of buzz about things like, oh, the commission-based salon owner is dead. The commission-based salon is dead. You know, it's
No,
no, that's not true. There are three categories of workforce, and there will always be three categories of workforce. Now, do you belong in certain categories? I don't know. So let's talk about what each one of those categories kind of characteristics should be. If you want to be self-employed, meaning you don't want to be an employee of a company that is run by an employer. Okay. So that is the decision that you make when you become self-employed. And so when you want to be self-employed, there are characteristics that you need to have. For example, you cannot be bad at your job. You have to be really good at it, meaning your skill level has to be so high that you don't need anyone else to assist you in that job. So if your skill level and your skill confidence is not high enough, where you're still having tons of redos and you're not able to retain your customers because of skill issues, you need to be honest with yourself, and that needs to be a decision that you need to make. You're not ready to be self-employed. If you're not ready to take on administrative responsibilities like payroll for yourself, taxes, bill paying, inventory, you know, you get
all the business. This is what I talk about. All the business foundational things. Like you have to build that foundation, because otherwise you're going to go down.
If you are not ready to do those things, nor willing to do those things, or building enough time to do those things, or willing to learn how to do those things, you are not ready to be self-employed.
Right.
If you, another thing would be, are you able to set up your company and structure in a way? Do you have some funds? Do you have ability to set up a corporate structure, a business banking account, pay taxes, do corporate taxes, get an attorney,
get insurance, get an accountant.
Get your own transaction process. You are not ready to be self-employed, or you don't need to be self-employed. So when you're self-employed, you need to be self-sustaining. You need to be self-managing, and you need to be someone that is able to handle all of that on their own.
Correct.
Now, that's the state of self-employed. If you are self-employed mindset, it would be very difficult for you to work for an employer, because to be a successful employee, you have to have the mindset of being an employee. The benefits of being an employee is that you receive the benefits of the protections of an employer. You receive the benefits of all the amenities, the bonuses, the added value, the other things that an employer brings to your life, like handling all the administrative and business stuff, and or building support systems, or else providing skill level build training and all of those
Mhm.
kinds of things, taxes, paying your taxes, ordering
Right.
inventory, all of that. Then you are ready to do that. But there is an issue in our industry where this is broken. There's
Mhm.
something happening in our industry. And employers, salon owners, business owners are unaware that they're doing that. For example, one small thing that could happen in a salon, and I'll use this as an example. When you have an employee say, or you say, please do the dishes, please clean the color bowls or do the laundry. And that employee says to you, well, that's not part of my job. Or they might not say it to you, they just won't do it. And then they'll say it to somebody else. That's not my job. That's not my
Mhm.
part of my job. I am a stylist, but they don't understand what that really means. That is a broken, that's what I'm meaning by that's broken. They are having self-employed mindset when they should be having employee mindset. An
Right.
employee mindset means that you are like, yes, I know I'm part of this team and I'm part of this, I'm an employee and I will
Mhm.
do as I'm asked by my employer.
Right.
And there that those standards need to be set very clear in
Right.
a company. An employer needs to set those standards.
Right. They need to have clear, I think, onboarding. I think our industry could use a little bit of the corporate touch to it. And I believe in that because, onboarding, having clear, concise boundaries. You're right. I absolutely agree with that.
So I don't think that it's a bad thing, good thing. It's just don't put emotion into it. It's not anything.
Right.
It's
Right.
just when somebody is ready to be self-employed, they will do
Right.
so. And if they have
Right.
the opportunity to do it, then that's fine. But they are
Yeah.
not meant for you.
Right.
Your job as an employer is to continuously train new talents that
Mhm.
continuously bring in new people into your company, because eventually every business experiences attrition of employees.
And it's just part for the course. You're right.
Right.
You're right.
So we just
See,
have to accept it. And we
yeah.
have to train new people and we have to welcome the opportunities for our people that want to move on to be self-employed. And then we have to think if we're going to offer those type of opportunities for self-employment in
Right.
our companies. And if
Right.
you want to do so, then learn how to do so and do it well.
So let's tell everybody, where can they connect with you, Nikki, and what do you offer if salon owners globally, and I highly endorse your products and your consulting because you're amazing. Where can they connect with you, and what can they reach out to you to just give them a little tidbit of what you offer?
Well, one of the best things to do is connect with our private Facebook group called TSP Community. And that is just a group where we have it's very managed. It's not giant or large. It
Mhm.
is where we share a lot of great information, and
Yes.
there's ways to connect with us because we do a lot of online classes.
Mhm.
Since the pandemic, of course, we've
Yes.
moved to online versus being in person at hair shows a lot more.
Mhm.
Um, but we still do some hair shows. Like, for example, we're going to be in Premier Orlando the weekend of either, when is it, June 4th and 5th? June 4th and 5th, we're going to be in Orlando at the Premier Orlando.
Wonderful.
So please come see us. We have 3 amazing classes that we're going to be teaching there. We'd love to say hi and meet you. So that's one way. And then the second way is we're going to be doing a lot of online classes. We have a lot of classes already pre-recorded. If you go to www.statementstrong.com, that's our online library where you can see all of our online classes that you can have access to.
And I will be dropping the links below or above, depending if you're on YouTube or on the podcast. You'll see everything in descriptions where you can connect with Nikki anytime. I'm
Right.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay. It's Facebook. It's just, I would go to TSP, the Statements Project Facebook group. It's a big open public page. And then we have a private group, but you do have to just fill out some things to join.
Mhm.
But we just go ahead and join. If you're a business owner, you're a manager, you're a leader, or you're wanting to learn how to be a leader, owner, manager, you can
Yes.
join our group, and we would love to share all of that stuff with you. And that's the best way. And honestly, we can just schedule a working session. So if you want to just do a discovery call, just reach out to us.
Mhm.
If you want if Maria, you can, if you get onto the TSP community group, you can
Yes.
reach out and we'll give you all of our contact, and we'll go from there. You can also follow me on Instagram at Nikki Lee. So NIKKI_LE_,
Love it.
and the Statements Project on Instagram. So it's dual Facebook and Instagram. And those are the 2 primary pages that I use. We do some LinkedIn and other stuff like that as well.
So
But
I think this is such powerful information. So as a closing statement to our amazing audience, what advice would you give everyone? One thing that they need to walk away with today to implement into their business or into their strategy to grow their business, or whatever it is they're looking to do to grow as a person in the service-based business industry, particularly in the salon industry?
I believe that my thought on that would be so many things, but I would say there is a structure, a systemization structure that you can start to build inside of your salon, and that's called the HR system. So HR stands for human resource,
Mm-hmm.
and it is everything to do with growing your people. There's multiple components to it, which is one would be performance metrics and KPIs. We have a class on Monday coming up on that. It's part two. So the part one was just more the information. Part two
Mm-hmm.
is really about understanding how to do performance evaluations and understanding how to drive and manage and forecast people's performance inside your company.
Mm-hmm.
If I could share anything, it would say work on building a strong HR system and a strong HR documentation system, you utilizing ways to track and grow your people. Your people are your biggest asset. And this is a beautiful industry to be in. But you as a business owner
Mm-hmm.
are the pave the you are designed to pave the way. You need to pave the path for them. And so think about what that career path needs to look like, and then help guide them in all of the ways, lead your people to a brighter future, to more opportunities, to more success. And I think that you, as the business owner and the leader, learning how to do that well, and taking the time to really understand that is going to yield enormous um, just feedback for your company, and kickback for your company. It's going to grow your company to ways that you just cannot imagine.
I am so grateful. That is so powerful. And I loved having this conversation with you. And I'm so grateful that you were here today. Nikki, thank you so much. Guys, you can connect in description in the show notes, connect with Nikki Lee, book a call with her. If leadership and really systemizing your salon and getting to that next level is what you're looking for, she is your girl. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sweetheart. It was an honor having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.